Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I know you're looking forward to the next installment on this glorious, illustrious journey of PWR as we go on our. I said, I know you're looking forward to the next installment of this glorious, illustrious journey in PWR. Scott, are you all right?
Shit, terrible. Yo, intro. Okay.
Do I need to remind you of what your boss said?
Who's
Do
my
your
boss?
fucking job, Scott. Do your fucking
Oh, you got
job.
jokes today. You want
No,
me to
he got
call
jokes. That's real facts. Go back to last week. That's what he said. Do your fucking job. Now,
you want to
give the
know
people
you want to know
excited.
what else is real? You want to know what else is real facts?
What's
You want to
real?
talk about facts, right?
What's real?
Somebody got some mail this week.
Damn right I
Wasn't
did.
me. Yeah, what was
Yeah,
that all
no,
about?
it was because of you though.
Because of me.
Yeah,
I didn't have no
because
kids. I didn't have no kids in Georgia, in rural Georgia. Was that me?
shit that you know about now. It's all good though. I understand. You can't
Wait.
produce something.
Oh, so you
What?
try to downplay the fact that you don't want to tell the fans one of the announcements, huh? The fact that you
No,
may or
everybody
you
saw me
may
because
not.
I went in front of everybody about that bullshit you pulled that got letters in the mail to me about how I gotta make sure I legitimize some damn kids that are not legitimate, whatever bullshit it said. You know what you did. You put that out there. Now you got people on my back for money I do not owe because all my kids are legit. I don't owe nobody else. I ain't got no outside kids out here. Don't play me like that.
Why do you look like Vernon Clark from Lean on Me?
Why
Hey,
do you
Mr.
look like
Clark.
you got two sets of genitalia, a vagina and a coochie?
What do you have against the LGBT double D community?
Why do you have to masturbate using a fist and a finger?
Why is your vest and your shirt a Crayola color?
Why is your face an unknown Crayola color?
Are you related to Mekhi Phifer?
Hey, get related to these nuts. Start the show. God damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Scott Mack. I used to be the owner of this dump, but as you see, we got guys, alcoholics doing the show now, people that don't pay their child support. I have a question. Can you even afford a piece of wick cheese for your kids? Because I hear they running out here. You can see their rib cage like the kids of Africa asking for money with the flies around. And you need to do something with yourself for your kids, man. That ain't cool, T. Seriously.
My kids are straight. My kids are straight. They eat good. Now, whoever you trying to pin on me or get somebody to pin on me with your shiesty ass, I
Can we
don't know
talk
about that.
about can we talk about the announcements, because the announcements are very important, T. Child support for some people is being enforced around PWR, and you may
Get
or
to the
may
main
not be in a
real
title match soon, because let's face it, if if your paperwork ain't right, why should you be a champion around here?
Excuse me, my paperwork is legit. And other than that, say the announcement the right way. You know what my opportunity looks like, and you never know when I'm popping up. So say it the right way. Say my name the right way. Put some respect on it.
Free Mr. Clark. Free Mr. Clark. Free Mr. Clark. Free.
Hey, you do realize them back taxes, if you don't pay them, they're gonna be talking about free Scotty Mac. Free Scotty Mac. Free Scotty Mac.
Woo! Another big announcement. Scott Mack will be in Thailand promoting himself, not PWR. That's right. I'm promoting my new brand. It's an underwear brand. I don't want to talk about it on camera with you. If you're interested, I might send you some samples. You know what I'm saying, T?
They ain't nothing but an OnlyFans account, motherfucker. Stop playing.
Speaking of which, OnlyFans, fans, get ready, because in a few moments here, we're gonna have the PWR World Heavyweight Champion himself. In a very few moments, will be joining you, not me, because when he comes on, I'm taking. You know what I usually do this? This is what I'll be doing when he comes on. So just get ready to take the ball and run with it, T. I know you was always the third string running back in high school, which is why you went into the wrestling. But nonetheless, we're here, aren't we?
Yeah, we here. You know something
You
about
gonna
running
need it.
them back, don't you? Anyway, so you know something about running them back, don't you? But anyway, I ain't never seen nobody get fined so much for not being here. Let's do your job, Scotty.
You see my name, 1 milli. That's how much I'm getting paid. How much are you getting paid for this? And
I'm
JTO,
getting paid a lot more because after the fines and taxes out of that 1 million is taken out by your boss, then I'm sitting pretty, bro. Matter of fact, appreciate that, man. I get to take a vacation just because of you. Appreciate that, boss.
What's happening here with my lighter, ladies and gentlemen? This is not good at all. We need to work it lighter.
God damn, don't nobody work for you, do that.
Oh, you finally got one to get through. All right. It took you a little while, but you did it. You did it. All right.
That's what she said to you.
The 5 heartbeats and Scott Mack will continue the show right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get back on track. Lethal Lottery is coming soon, Postman. If you are able to perform, we don't know yet because you have a hearing soon. I don't want to talk about it, but I want to too still in a little bit. You may or may not be in Lethal Lottery. How do you feel about the upcoming event where you could be paired with somebody you like? Your baby mama, maybe. It could be anybody that could be your tag team partner in the matchup.
Man, first of all jokes aside, what do I do with the lottery? What do I do? I always show up. I always give everybody the best that I got. So that ain't nothing. But I'm interested to see how it will unfold. It has nothing to do with no damn hearing. See, you trying to put out a red herring. See, you should maybe start spitting bars on your ass. But anyway, Lethal Lottery, I'm interested to see the mashups. I'm interested to see who gets paired up with each other. I'm interested for that wiggle to roll and see how it goes.
What if I enter, you're my teammate? How would you feel about that?
So that'd be like, my baby mama to whoop your ass.
Nah, we could be like Ralph Tresvant and John B. That'll be our team.
No, we gonna be like Latrell Sprewell and his coach.
Jesus. Anyways, the first round of the tag matches in Lethal Lottery will be featured on the Lethal Lottery pay-per-view. And of course, the main event of that card, the number one contender, the man of the people, Mel Walker, getting his crack at gold, going against a man who we'll hear from soon, the PWR World Heavyweight Failure. The PWR World Heavyweight Failure, Big Hurt. Listen, media from all over the world, we're here this week in San Antonio, Texas, covering the main event coming up later on. It's a big one. The Empower Championship. Alexia Payne, the queen of PWR, the challenger, looking to knock off the reigning, defending Empower champion, Dylan Mason. And you know, when you hear the name Dylan Mason in PWR the past 2 weeks, it's been ringing all over the sports entertainment industry. It's been on the talk of everybody's mind. Listen, no matter what people think, things are changing around here quickly. We opened the night with a big time number one contender matchup. All right. The number one contender for the heavyweight title. See, hold on. Let me regroup like you.
Yeah. Regroup, regather.
Let's pull it all in.
Take your time. It's okay. It happens to everybody.
The number one contender for the PWR World Heavyweight Champion going one-on-one in a non-title matchup. The man of the people was set to face the narcissist in this clash, opening up the night here in San Antonio, Texas. And you knew the fans were ready for this one, T. The intensity for this matchup was one way up there, as both the former Powerhouse champion and the current Power Surge champion were locked and loaded for this one. The packed house cheered at the top of their lung as the bell rang. Mel Walker came out the gates quickly, controlling Toa the Narcissist after nailing a spear and a snap suplex for good measure. But the Narcissist kicked out of an early pin attempt. T, tell us what your thoughts in the early ongoings of this matchup.
Amazing moxie by the Narcissist. I mean, just the wherewithal, but also the grit, because Mel Walker came at him with everything he had. But at the same time, that onslaught, he wore through it. Surprising. That's the reason why the fans are on their feet.
Definitely. And it takes a lot of grit and moxie to wear the type of clothing that T-Buddy is wearing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to give him his props. Mel Walker missed the clothesline when we saw Toa the Narcissist nailed him with the spinning back fist at this point, and he quickly scooped up Mel for a running power slam. Postman, we got a problem? The impact was hard. Yes, that's right. The impact was hard, and Toa followed with a splash after bouncing off of the ropes. He tried to end Mel Walker's night, but he only got 2 on another pin attempt. The 2 stars really put on a clinic for the fans, and they knew whoever was going to win this matchup, the San Antonio fans knew that it was going to be a close contest and it could just be won by a matter of inches, just like I'm beating you, T.
Just like you beating your chick. A matter
Listen,
of inches.
it was a back and forth affair, all matchup long. And when Mel Walker got it going late in the matchup, that's when we heard a roar of boos coming from the ramp area, alerting the sudden arrival of one of your favorites, the tag team champions, familiar to you. I'm talking about the Deadly Alliance, Shooter J and El Wapo. The boos were so loud, and Shooter and Wapo took their sweet time as Walker now realized this situation was changing fast. He wasn't the old Mel Walker. He was the man of the people. He didn't have you and DJ Khaled to rough anybody up. He was all on his own. He knocked Toa down with a chop when Shooter J went to one side and El Wapo to the other side. Toa was banged up, but he got to his feet and extended with a nasty super kick that crushed Mel as he wobbled, and Toa whipped him into the ropes and set up for a back body drop. But Mel Walker had him timed perfectly and kicked Toa and locked him in the man of the people cutter. He nailed Toa with it, but before he could get down for a pin attempt, the thunk from Shooter J's tag team championship cracked Walker in the head. The referee immediately disqualified Toa, and that's when El Wapo dropped a few elbows right to the chest of Mel Walker as fans erupted and booed the Deadly Alliance out of the building. However, Toa then got to his feet and grabbed his championship up, seeming to want to do more damage as he ordered El Wapo and Shooter J to pick the man of the people up. The narcissist then crushed Mel Walker in the head, and then Wapo signaled to the fans for the Dropo. But before he could get his hands on Walker, a loud roar this time from the fans, a loud cheer and pop alerted the arrival of none other than the Redeemer, T.C. Adams, as the San Antonio faithful cheered at the top of their lungs. TC held his hand up, but it wasn't just any regular TC Adams hand. His hand was clearly loaded with a set of brass knuckles, and it was gold to be exact. He started jogging to the ring, and no one from the Alliance except El Wapo wanted the smoke as he took a shot that sent him flying over the top rope. The Redeemer was there for the rescue as we went to commercial, and TC Adams was trying to help Walker up to his feet. Postman, let me ask you a question. Besides being late on your child support, what did you like about this matchup?
You asshole. But yo, I mean, let's talk about the finish. The finish is everything. The finish is everything. I mean, seeing, of course, the Deadly Alliance, they're showing more grit too. They're showing their teeth. They're showing their teeth right now. They're showing that they're some dogs right now, and I like that. I honestly do like that, because when you're holding that much gold, you got to show people that you ain't nothing to mess with. So, seeing someone, you got the man of the people, then you got someone who's clearly over. I hate to say it like that, using industry terms, clearly in tune with fate, like a TC coming out there, helping out a good guy, helping a good guy. It looks good for business, and I'm here for business. Unlike
Why don't you be a good guy and do what I want to tell you to do? Why don't you be a good guy? Take him to the park. Let him swing on the swing. Let it go back and forth. It doesn't take money to be a good father. Let's carry on with the next match, shall we?
You have
a problem with that?
No, we can. Go ahead. We can carry on with the next match. Like you carry on with your next relationship. Go ahead.
Damn! Shit! Fuck! All right. Match number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Mega, the Oracle of Pain, set to clash with the authentic one, August Stevens. Now, listen, this match was one fans were looking forward to see. I mean, let's talk about it. A former world champion into a guy that says and claims that he wants to hold gold here in PWR in the future. So
Good point.
obviously this makes up for a nice little battle here. The match began with a slower pace as August Stevens attempted to use strategy and slow down the bigger and stronger Joe Mega. He
That's
used some
smart.
kicks to the lower extremities and legs of Mega to try and slow him down, but the tree trunk sized calf muscles of the Oracle of Pain absorbed a lot of the strikes, T, as he grabbed Stevens by the neck shortly after and locked him in a nasty neck breaker. Woo, it was devastating. Stevens held his head in pain as Joe Mega pinned him, but he only got 2 on the pin attempt. August Stevens fought his way back with an array of punches, backing up Joe Mega at one point, and then he skied high in the air for a shoulder tackle. But he pinned Mega and only got 1 before the massive human being pressed out of the pinned attempt. The two put on a solid match, I will say that. But ultimately, the experience and overall brutal power of Joe Mega overcame August Stevens as he eventually gave way to a 3 count after a deadly mega drive in the middle of the ring. Stevens looked frustrated after the match as suddenly after, both Reggie Walker and Bobby G suddenly appeared on the ramp. Joe Mega just grinned as he looked into the direction of the sea as fans that was splitting, and it parted for his old-time buddy as PWR fans exploded in San Antonio for none other than the former world champion himself, the former Apex champion. This guy's decorated. We're talking about Punishment, of course, coming back to San Antonio to have his buddies back. Punishment came out wearing a Spurs jersey with, hear me on this, I am PWR on the back, sending a clear message to anybody who had any doubt where Punishment or Hector or whatever you want to call him, where he stands. Perfect timing, in a deep voice, said Joe Mega. Man, I'm here. I'm always here when you need me. That's all that matters, said Punishment. Reggie and Bobby helped August to his feet as they made their way to the back, and Reggie Walker specifically took a long, hard gaze in the direction of the Oracle of Pain, Joe Mega. Postman, let's talk about the matchup first of all. Leading up to this one, you got the young, braggadocious, hungry lion. But this was a tree, apparently, that he wasn't quite ready to crawl. Heard on social media that he wasn't supposed to be here. I don't know what that means. I guess people have daddies out here. You wouldn't know what that's like. But nonetheless, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I do know what it's like, but I would son you, but you a bitch. So that would make you a daughter. Either way, yo, the Spurs jersey, I do love it. I do love it, the way it kind of dripped down into the Punishment thing. But let's get down to the business, though. Yo, that return changes the landscape of the game in a major way. Not only the timing of it, but the fact that it is him, former world champ, former Apex. He's decorated. He's here. Those two together, as if Joe Mega wasn't holding it down alone by himself for a few weeks. That changes things. So now you got people on notice. You got Black Rock. You got to be on notice. You got the World Tag Team Champs.
Tag division. Yeah, the tag division.
The tag division is on notice. Anybody thinking about getting together is on notice. And not to mention, I don't know what it shakes up in the lethal lottery, but you know that they got each other's back now. So that was a huge message being sent not only to the locker room, but to the in attendance and those watching at home.
You've been champion before with the tag team titles. I just want to pick your brain. I know it's very small and minute, but I would like to pick it just a little bit. You mind? When you had the tag team championships, in other words, if you're the Deadly Alliance sitting at home and you realize now that Punishment is back in play here in PWR, are you worried at all about your titles?
Little known secret, as a champion, no matter what you say on that microphone, you're always worried. Because your day can come at any time. An injury can happen just like that. Anything can happen just like that. The next big dog could come up just like that. So you're always worried, but you don't say that. I'm saying, I'm pulling back the curtains on this right now. So yeah, you're always worried. So what do? You do whatever you can to get an upper hand advantage, to get a foot up, a leg up on anybody. So you either lead by example, you set an example, or You just go in outright mollywop the motherfuckers. So, whether it's a match or
I
not.
like the analogy of pulling back the curtain. Did you pull down a curtain and have a shirt made by Ming at the cleaners?
Did you pull up a skirt and find a penis?
I am going to time.
So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it was an awesome night in San Antonio. We are just not getting started, but the fans are exhausted almost already. We're just getting started. I noticed that, and I love that type of feel. This is the reason why we do this game. You want to go ahead?
Yeah. Let's remind everybody that the idiot's showing up in a matter of moments, a matter of minutes. A live mic will be given to the PWR World Heavyweight Failure. Big Hurt.
All right. Champion.
All right. You heard. I said, you're not my boss.
You damn right I'm
the
not.
Dude who thinks he's my boss. You look kind of like him a little bit. Y'all both got the milk dud head. You're not hitting my boss. He's not my boss. He thinks he's my boss. He's delusional. That's what happens when you go over 60, 65. You start delulu, they call it.
Hey, who do you sign your checks to when you have to pay those fines?
Match 3, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. AK, Shooter J, half of the PWR World Tag Team Champions. We just talked about these guys versus another champion, the Powerhouse Champion. Are you watching this one closely from the back, Postman? I believe you would be. The Bronx Bombers in the building. A champion versus champion showcase was on deck in this next one as Shooter J was set to clash with the Bronx Bomber. Now, let's be clear. The fans booed both of these superstars out of the motherfucking building. There was no doubt, and it was hard to determine who they hated more. T, you care to?
No doubt. That was a strange occurrence right there. I'm not even going to front. No bullshit. That was a strange occurrence. Like, dang. Do you like somebody? Who is going to... This wasn't even a match about who wins. Who gets the first cheer was the match. That was it.
It's interesting that you said that. Wapo stayed ringside for this match. Very, very interesting when you see this. And Bomber knew he had to keep a close eye on him for sure. The rivalry between those two is crazy. For those who don't know, El Wapo, Bomber, they can't be in the same room. So for them to be this close to each other, woo, it's crazy. The rivalry is heated and real. Fans were on the edge of their seats as this matchup began, T. The Bomber came out and does what he does, giving the crowd what they want, flying around the ring with perfect timing and high-flying moves, highlighted by a spinning heel kick and a dime bag knee drop. Don't ask, okay? That crushed Shooter J in the temple. What? Excuse me?
No, I was about to say, don't ask. Just let it happen. You good.
Okay. Dime bag knee drop. You know anything about dime bags? Or you want me to just keep going?
I mean, I would have called it a teabag knee drop because that's what he really wanted to go for. But anyway.
Bomber bounced off the ropes, and right away, the large hand of El Wapo. Have you ever seen his hand? The man, he goes two whoppers.
He's a large guy, okay?
Yeah. The large hand of Wapo tripped him up a bit. Bomber turned around for a moment, distracted, but was still able to execute a drop kick on Mr. AK Shooter J. It took a bit for Mr. AK to get it going in this matchup, but when he did, he showed PWR fans why he is still very dangerous at any given moment inside of that ring. Out of nowhere, he thrusted a strike to the nose of Bronx Bomber, and it busted a little bit. You can see a little tear there, a little blood. Nothing wrong with a little blood in wrestling. As Bronx touched the blood with his fingertips. He might have got him going a little bit. Shooter headbutted Bomber over the top rope as Wapo went and got a few cheap shots in on the defenseless Bronx Bomber. This thing is getting out of control quickly. Shooter got to the outside of the ring finally and drove an uppercut to Bomber before tossing him back inside of the ring. Shooter quickly pinned him for the 1, the 2, but the Bronx Bomber kicked out. That guy has heart. We know that. He may be a stupid New Yorker, but he has a lot of heart. Some fans started cheering. You talked about this earlier, ironically, for Bronx Bomber.
Damn, I would have lost that bit.
Yep. Bronx Bomber kicked out, and the fans started cheering for the New Yorker because they could clearly see that the Alliance were trying to take this one away from him right in front of their eyes. As the match continued, every time Bomber got it going, every time it seemed like his momentum was rolling, there was a tactic from the tag team champs that took his run right away from him. At one point, El Guapo grabbed the Powerhouse Championship and even put it on his shoulder, mocking and distracting Bomber even more. It was at that point Shooter was setting up right behind Bronx Bomber for the midnight run. He turned right into it. And it was a midnight run. And I'm not talking about the 7-Eleven, ladies and gentlemen, as he pinned Bomber for the 1, the 2, the 3, the winner of the match, half of the PWR Tag Team Champions, Mr. AK. My shirts are dirty. Yeah. Mr. AK, my shirts are dirty. T-Money, real quick, before I get to you, that's when we saw El Guapo mocking the Bronx Bomber. Now remember, very real, very sensitive. Bomber nodded his head and said, okay, that's okay. I'll be back. You know that nod, you know. Okay.
Really?
Got you.
Really?
So we'll see what comes out of that. Postman, what did you think about this matchup? The high impact, the high flying of Bronx Bomber, and you counteract that with the smash mouth, dirty laundry of Shooter Jack.
I mean, hell, first of all, if he comes down there with Smash Mouth Dirty Laundry, I mean, no one's listened to that band in a long time. But anyway, if you come down there like that, you know you're down there for business. And I've seen a lot of different changes from him in the recent weeks. And Shooter means business. And he's also doing something that I got to admit, again, when you got gold, you protect it at all costs. So are they playing a little dirty? Hell yeah. But you hate to see it happen to a fellow champion. Damn, I can only imagine the pain and the anguish that Bomber's in right now. What could possibly be injured as weeks go on? What could possibly be nagging and bugging your body?
All right. What could possibly keep you from even stepping aside of a rig or traveling outside of the country? Not having a passport. What could possibly be that?
Do you need to see my passport? Do you need to?
I can see it. That don't mean you can be able to use it when you get to the airport. It's gonna be beep because you know why.
It's kind of like what your girl said.
Chuck E. Cheese is right around the corner. All you gotta do is take the kids.
Can't use it. It sounded like what she said.
It's a slide at every park. Listen, we're coming right up. Ladies and gentlemen, the countdown begins. He will be here soon. The PWR World Heavyweight Failure, the man responsible for this thing going down. They try to point the finger at Mac. They try to say it's me. They try to say it's all on Mackie Mac. But guess what? Soon as I get home.
Right here. I knew you were gonna do some bullshit.
Shit. All right, you ready? Triple threat match. Nappy Boy, aka DJ Khaled. Bobby G, aka I took too much steroids in high school, maybe.
Really?
And Aaron King. I have no comment for Aaron King. I'm not too keen on him right now.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't got nothing to say about it. I mean, Aaron King, go ahead.
All right. This match was hyped up to be a triple threat, Postman. It was hyped up to be a triple threat. But before the start,
anytime your mouth is open, butt's coming.
You son of a bitch, you. Drink that goddamn 40-cent water. All right.
Do your fucking job, Mac.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's your JTL. Okay. This match was hyped up to be a triple threat, Postman. But before the start, only Bobby G and Aaron King waited inside of the ring. And after a short delay, a short pause, waiting for the third competitor who was supposed to be Nappy Boy, everybody in the arena, including the official, assumed that we would go on without the villain in this one as the bell rang. And then, fans, listen, it was much like the first battle between Aaron King and Bobby G, because these two heavy hitters in a street fight months ago nearly killed one another, and it took weeks for their bodies to heal. I'm sure they still feel the repercussions from that street fight months ago. The massive thumping from the blows from Bobby G to Aaron King buckled Beast Mode several times before a shoulder tackle finally took the big man down. Bobby G then lifted the massive Aaron King for a body slam dropping him hard. Bobby tried to leap from the second turnbuckle, but missed a high impact move. The fans got behind King now, who had nailed Bobby with the belly to belly suplex as the ring shook on impact. He quickly went for a pin attempt for the 1, the 2, but Bobby G kicked out. Then, from seemingly out of nowhere, when it seemed as if King had this thing in the bag, here he comes, the true villain of PWR, cracked Aaron King in the back with the steel chair, not once, but twice. Then he tossed Beast Mode over the top rope and turned his attention to Bobby G. The fans were booing at the top of their lungs as Nappy waited for Bobby G to get up, and he set him up perfectly for the natural nap as Nappy, the true villain, dropped Bobby G in the middle of the ring, hooking his legs for the 1, the 2, the 3, the winner of the match. Stealing this one as the fans let him have it was Nappy Boy, who gloated to the San Antonio fans, giving them the finger and mocking in his celebration. But the boos turned to cheers very quickly as Big Aaron King, better known as Beast Mode, was creeping up behind the Nappy Boy. King bounced off the ropes, and just as Nap turned around, he got the only fucking knee that matters right in the face as Nappy went tumbling outside of the ring. Come on, said Beast, who was charged up, getting the fans engaged. Postman, what did you think about the action in this one? Were you surprised at all by the actions of the true villain? Were you surprised that the true villain didn't stay focused? And what happened at the end? What is your take?
He's a villain. He stole. I mean, make that make sense. You don't have to. It's just natural. I did that on purpose. He's a villain. He stole. But at the same time, I mean, he think everything is over, everything is sweet. And then, I mean, the Beast came up with the only, why do we keep adding words to that? The only knee that matters, and got him. He got his get back. I mean, that's how it is on the streets. You get your get back. By any means necessary, get your get back. So, I mean, was I surprised? No. But the fact
before we move to this big deal that everybody's talking about, whatever, I do have one side note question for you. When I see a guy working out in the performance center like Bobby G, he has all the tools, it seems like, to be great, but something is missing. If you were him in his position and a young superstar trying to find his way in PWR, what advice would you give him, Postman, besides paying his child support?
Oh, okay. I'm glad you went there. Okay, cool. What advice would I give to him? Trying to get over the years, but what you saying, right? Get some bitches. Get some bitches. That's what you need. Bitches. Bitches to change everything.
Is that what got you into trouble? Is that what got you in trouble in the first place? Isn't that what has us here? Would you not being able to probably?
Not at all, because what you're missing is no. I'm gonna blow that up later on because you keep making jokes, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why they're unfounded.
You're good at blowing things
up. I don't owe anybody. But anyway, no, seriously, he's in the gym. He's working out. Big guy. Hey, get over the hump. You know what? You might need to change the people that are around you.
Maybe I shouldn't be on this show. Maybe I should change the people around me. Maybe if I didn't have the people around me that were around me, this company would still be great.
Do your fucking job, Mac.
Fuck you and your boss. How about that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have to do the. I'm sorry. Do you mind if I was doing the impersonation in slow motion? Can I do it again? I'm gonna do it again.
Go ahead. By all means, go ahead. I enjoy it. Go ahead.
Do your fucking job, Mac. Slow motion. There you go. That's your boss right there. Talk to him.
Now say it again, Mac. Say it again. While I'm here, just tell me one more time. You know what? Since I'm an old man, say it in my good ear. Come on, speak up.
You know what? You know what my mama said? It's nothing worse than two bitches in one little peacock. I don't even know if that's the saying, but it sounds like something good.
Okay.
Your mama said that?
Your pockets are getting lighter and lighter by the minute, man. That's all I'm saying. I hope you heard that.
Write the check. What do you want? What do you want, sir?
You know why I'm here.
You want to host a show?
No. There is a segment that everyone's been waiting for. I've been waiting for because everyone had a lot to.
I don't care.
Shut up. Everyone had a lot to say. Everyone had their piece. Everyone had something to say about me becoming the owner. You, just a lot of people. But one person has not spoken, and he's getting his opportunity to speak on a live mic right now.
Hey, let's get it.
So, Mac, do your job.
Do your fucking job, man.
I'm doing my job. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the PWR World Heavyweight Failure.
No. Call him what he is.
Yeah, okay. Call it what it is. All right, you're right.
The World Heavyweight what?
Ladies and gentlemen, he's here live, uncut, uncensored. The PWR World Heavyweight reason that we.
No. I'm being nice. I'm giving you an opportunity to not get fined.
I don't need you to be nice. I don't need senior citizens
you
to
don't?
be nice to me. I'm
All
nice
right.
to senior citizens.
All right, so you like that six-figure
How about
fine?
you do the introduction? I'm not doing this. You do the introduction.
Okay, I'll do the introduction. Fine.
Yeah, fuck
Everybody, welcome to World Heavyweight Champion, the Big Hurt. And you're fine 6 figures.
Not 1 million no more.
You need to unmute yourself, guy.
It's live satellite. It happens.
I was going to do this sober, but that's no fun.
That'd be a better idea for you, I think. You know,
99 pineapples. Well, it's 99 bananas. Pause.
Hey, Hurt, you know I'm not the guy to play with, right? I'm just warning you now.
Max, shut the fuck up.
No. You
know what? I'm gonna let you do what you do, man. Continue.
Jay, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to instruct Mac to not speak until he's spoken to by me.
You heard him. I told you to shut the fuck up, so shut the fuck up and let this man speak. Everyone else has something to say. It's his turn now. So shut the fuck up, Mac. You'll be not getting shit. You're at 6 figures now. I could raise it up to 7. And that's nothing.
You know what your biggest problem is, Mac? You don't have to answer that. I'm going to tell you what your biggest problem is. Your biggest problem is that you talk too much and listen too little. I'm going to say it again. You talk too much and you listen too little. When someone's trying to give you some good advice, you already have a response in your head before the fucking sentence is done. Your other problem is you rely on the wrong people. You think it's me? We'll get there. Maybe it is me. Maybe it's not. But let me ask you a question. How many hours have we spent on the phone? And by God, this is the shooteriest of shoots. How many hours have we spent on the phone in the last 2 years of you trying to convince me that Dylan Mason is the guy?
I don't have to sit through this.
No. You got to answer.
Yes, the hell you do.
Yeah, you sit your ass down. Do not even think about getting up.
So now I'm allowed to talk.
No.
You're allowed to answer.
Answer the fucking question, man.
How many hours?
A lot. There you go.
Of those hours, how many of those hours that I spend telling you, it might be displaced?
Quite a bit.
And in fairness, in the last 6 or 7 months, I've come to not only respect his work, but like and appreciate his work just in the last 6 months. But there are 2 things that people need to know. I put up a couple of things in media today. The last couple of days, I've been putting up my contract status from the last 2 years because April 1st of 2023, I signed a 1-year contract with PWR. Biggest contract in PWR history. A lot's been made about how much I've been paid. Then, a little under a year ago, I signed a 1-year extension, April 1st of last year. to have the party go for one more year. Well, folks, that year is coming up. April 1st, my contract is up with PWR. Done. That's it. And I don't feel the need to resign since it's my fault that the company's in the toilet. I don't feel the need to resign.
Goddamn.
You can go back and look at the footage if you want. The other thing I want to talk about is what I just put in the PWR chat a few minutes ago. It's a video of Linda Hogan. Linda Hogan walked out on Hulk Hogan 15 years ago. And she's mad that he's living his life. He just gets to keep going on living his life. You know what it reminds me of? Everybody who walks out of PWR because it's too difficult or it's too grueling or it's too black, and they go to IW and go, oh, we got out of there, Scotty Mack and those nigger lovers, and oh my God, and Scotty and Hurt and Venom. Oh, Venom's just weighing us down. They're weighing everything down, and fucking who's that other big Mega? All those guys. It's just terrible. We hate it over there. Hey, why are they over there having fun? Why are they over there putting on 5-star matches? Why, with the recycled matches they keep having, do they keep having compelling storylines and keep going? You know what? I'm going to go back over there and see what's happening. Yo, I'm going to tell you what, folks. We've never, and I'm not fucking with Scotty right now, never been concerned with IW and what they're doing. They want to go out and have 5 brands and 5,000 people. That's great. And I'm not being sarcastic. It's wonderful. There's a feeder system for PWR. It's a wonderful place for people to go and mix it up. But when a guy who has the talent of Dylan Mason and a guy who Scotty Mack put so much faith in to get up and put the number 2 belt from the number 1 promotion, the PWR Empower Championship, on one shoulder. Well, it used to be number 2 when I had it. It was. I don't know. And then put up some other belt from some other place on the other shoulder and try to compare the two. It's just a microcosm of what this IW PWR thing is. We're not thinking about them. Number 1 doesn't acknowledge number 2. You talk about this place going to hell when Jill and Darkin left, and even though I told Matt at the time that Darkin should have been world heavyweight champion, the fact that he needed the belt to validate himself shows that Scotty may not have been wrong by not putting it on him at that time, and they left, and they're back, and nobody asked for that. Happy to have them back. I can say what I want about Jill. I've known her longer than all of you.
Oh, fuck.
So this is not coming from a place of hate. That's my friend. But she's back now. And that is what happens with these IW folks. Now, you want to see different matchups. You're talking about you want different matchups. Let me tell you something. IW got bigger when PWR got blacker. When the Elite came in here, myself, Jay O'Neal, Pat Legend, motherfucker, when we came in PWR, all these people that I keep hearing are so great, ski fucking daddled. Cody Omega, Iron Bison, and a whole bunch of people I'm not going to give promotion to, they got the fuck up out of here. So don't talk to me about how we need to mix it up, and I haven't had a sip yet. Don't talk to me about how we need to mix it up and change things up. Because if they wanted to be different, they would have stayed. But they left. Now, one of the person you mentioned, Big John, I'm going to tell you something about Big John that nobody knows, okay? We wanted to see if Big John was ready for the big time. So first he had a match with me where he went over. He'll tell you, yo, the first ever super reaction video I ever had, he went over. Not because I wanted to put him over, because he fucking went out and earned it. He went into a match that he knew he was losing and fucking won. And so we put him to one more test. I said, Scotty, I'm sorry. I said Scotty because Scotty didn't know this happened. I said to somebody, I said, let's leak out there that he's not going to win his upcoming championship match. I said, let's just leak it out there. It took one day of that leak to happen for him to say, hey guys, not on my mind, I gotta go. Big John's a VA boy, Virginia, City, my area. So this is a fact. He rolled out. That's the heart and soul of this place. No, the heart and soul of this place is me, and it's been me. And you can never understand because it can never be you. You went to Japan and got your ass kicked by Iron Bison. He ran from me. My son is the alpha on the alpha show of the place whose cock you are hugging. I haven't had a sip yet. Let me say that again. My son is the alpha on the alpha show. That belt is beta belt for the beta show, right? You know what? I don't even know if Showtime, can I say that? I can say whatever the fuck I want. This guy has to sit there. Showtime, I don't even know if he's still running this shit over there because I just don't care what's going on in IW. So that's all I have to say about that for now. And we'll get back to Scotty fucking up the relationship with Showtime. We'll get to that in a little bit. Excuse me. I'm having my first sip.
Wait. This is
Mel Walker.
So wait, we're getting to the end of this, right? This the cliffhanger?
No. We're still going. Mel Walker.
Wait, man.
Oh, that's strong. It's too strong. Mel, it should have been you. The problem I have with you is all the things I just said about Dylan Mason. To add to that, you said he should be champion. Full stop. So why would I even, I mean, I'm telling you ahead of time, Mulligan in play, why would I even consider having a match with you when the last time I built up a championship, the last time I built up a company, the last time I saw a company through a merger, takeover, whatever, and handed the reins to you, the place was dead within 60 days. Why would I do it again, man of the people? Why would I do that? It's not really worth it to me. I don't see it. I feel like the man, the people thing, I don't believe it. I don't believe you. I want to be no sell Mel right now. I don't believe you. I believe the second I start pressing you, you turn back into no sell Mel. You back on that roof. You back with the black and white. Like, hey, yo, fam, look, this is what it is. I don't believe what you're saying. I just think that's you. This man, the people shit, the people are a drag, sir. They're a drag on everything. Oh, my God. The people have never done anything for me. Let me tell you, you know what this is? This is PWR playing hardball. This is an eviction notice. I got into this place because of my contract with PWR, and because I'm not re-signing, I got to be out in 15 days. That's fine. I'm going to go because I'm not re-signing and I'm not facing Mel. Why would I?
So leave our belt and go to IW. You sided with David? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm not doing either. I'm not going to take the belt and throw it in the trash can. And I'm not going to do what everybody else says. I need a break and go to IW. I'm not doing any of that. I'm keeping this belt. I made it what it is. It's going to sit right here. And I am going to allow my contract to run out. And that's going to be that. you might as well use Lethal Lottery to crown a new champion or some shit like that, because there's no need for me to show up and waste my time with a guy who thinks that the guy who's hugging the cop of IW should be world champion. Why would I? I carried this place on my back. All the champions you had that had to go. They got too tired. They couldn't handle the load. I saw us through the worst merger idea since the NBA decided they wanted to make a WNBA. What did we get out of that deal? 3 guys, 2 of them are already gone? What? Huh?
Take a sip.
What do you mean take a sip? This shit's this we gotta get off the air here. I got an hour.
Hey man, shut your ass up.
Man, you guys long until he finished speaking. Shut up, Mac. Let him finish talking.
Really talk about how Scotty Mac fucked up his relationship with Showtime. So Showtime was angry. What was Showtime angry about? Showtime.
We're done with that. Yeah, we're done with that. And we're done with you.
What the
Get him out of here. Get him the fuck out of here. Or I'm
Mac,
out.
what the fuck are you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is it used to be 1 million when the show started. I'm not sure what I'm gonna end up with. I might be 1,000 there. But what you just saw was one of the most diabolical live segments in PWR history. Listen, I have to gather my thoughts. I hope the postman will come back here soon.
Huh? Damn, what happened? I went to go get a taco and what? Huh?
Wow. We need to finish. We need to carry on. That was
No, I was looking for the rest of the show. I don't want popcorn. They get it to my.
That was an obstruction of justice.
I
There will be
disagree.
lawsuits filed. Listen, it's not my problem. JTO has to figure out how to get the PWR World Heavyweight Championship on Lethal Lottery. That's not my problem anymore. T, what my problem is getting off the air with Morgan Freeman from Lean On Me. That's my goal here in this next half hour. Can we do this together? Me and you, lean on me when you're not strong. I will prevail.
Oh, now you want T Money. Okay, I understand.
Are we together? Or... All right.
No, now you need a friend.
Yeah.
Because
I will help you carry on.
Right. We all have pain. We all have a show to do. Shut the fuck up and go on to the next match.
All right. What just happened live? What the fuck did y'all just let? You know what? You milk that head, motherfucker.
It's all good. It's all good.
Listen, there's going to be a time, T, for you and me. Don't worry about it. TC Adams versus El Guapo was our next matchup. And, of course, you saw what took place earlier with TC Adams coming to the rescue of the man of the people. Listen, this is so much to dissect. My ADHD is running on a fucking high limit right now. And I'm trying to.
He was an alphabet kid. I knew it.
Listen, Shooter J appeared on the ramp and did his own personal greatest Republican introduction for his partner, Guapo. But you could barely hear him from the boos from the Texan fans. They were draining out Shooter J and El Guapo. But let's face it, T, when TC Adams came out the pop, it was unreal. There have only been, agree with me on this. I don't agree with me on your late payments, on your whatever, that's your shit. But agree with me on this. Listen, there have only been a few superstars in PWR history who can draw that ovation like the one we heard in San Antonio, Texas, when TC Adams came out, and you can finally see his shoulders sticking out a little different as he's starting to understand the following that he has grown in this past year. But El Guapo, had the El Drapo on him possibly and wasn't about to let this young superstar ruin his coming out party in Texas at all. The two started off with a very technical portion of the match early on. Wapo surprised many with his ability, tiptoeing on the ring apron early on, and then using the ring to gain leverage with an arm bar. Wow, you ever seen a big guy move like that? Don't
Yo,
answer that.
no, I did. Like I say, surprise, surprise, surprise. This is a technical match. How it started, didn't see that coming.
Yeah. But Adams also had a few tricks up his sleeve, T, as he used an arm drag to control the bigger man and then dropped the knee to the inner thigh of El Guapo, slowing him down early. But soon enough, the high impact moves were on display. It didn't take long, and Guapo nailed a DDT to TC Adams that many thought would have ended it. But his perseverance was on display once again as he later on in the match countered with a massive chop with his own European uppercut and then followed this up with an atomic drop to El Guapo. He pinned Guapo, but he kicked out at 2 as this matchup kept the heat on in the PWR universe. That's when we saw Mr. AK, the man himself, the greatest Republican, jumping on the ring apron, screaming out at TC Adams, trying to get involved in this one. That's when TC walked right up to him as Guapo came from behind, wrapping him up for the 1, the 2. But TC Adams kicked free as fans got more and more engaged in this contest. Shooter got up on the ring apron again, but this time Adams whipped Guapo right at Shooter J, knocking him down, and then he connected on a big boot, Postman. TC held his hand up as the fans did it as well. He had the entire universe literally in the palm of his hands as he gripped Guacamole. He gripped, try saying that. He gripped Guapo.
Yo, that's a move.
Shit, he gripped Guapo as he slowly started fading away, and the referee signaled for the bell as he awarded victory to the winner of this match, the Redeemer, TC Adams. But a boom from a big 2x4 from Shooter J Crumble Adams as Guapo realized what had just took place. Toa, the narcissist, then came running down and nailed TC with the kill shot in the middle of the ring, devastating him, Postman. He then asked for a microphone, did Toa, with his cocky, arrogant ass. And he said, "We are going to send a message today to all those in the back that think we're a beeping joke," he said. "Your precious little Redeemer is done," said the narcissist. But then the music of the man of the people, Mel Walker, played, and the San Antonio fans stood to their feet as Mel Walker stood on the ramp. Toa got on the microphone and said, "Do you see the numbers, Mel? This isn't the old little party you're used to. Look at us and look at you. Don't be stupid. Don't be a stupid man," he said. "Be a man of the people and mind your goddamn business, El Toa." But that's when Mel had a microphone himself and said, in that New York little flashy, arrogant fucking accent, "I didn't come alone though." And then the laugh of Joker J, the Carnal, echoed across the sound system as all people in the world it could have been. The Carnal snuck from behind the trio that was in the ring with the fire extinguisher and began spraying everyone in the ring. Then a brawl broke out between all 6 superstars. It was a melee, a brutal scene. T-Money, the Postman, what did you think about what's taking place? It seems like sides are being chosen here in PWR. Deadly Alliance trying to make a statement. But listen, TC Adams was at their will. Mel Walker repaying the favor, but he didn't come alone. He brought a little laughing gas with him, Joker J, the Carnal. What do you think?
I mean, what is there to think? I mean, here, this is a melee. This is chaos. This is all that's going on. It's just, it's lawlessness. It's ruthlessness. There's nothing to think. You don't think. You just act. And that's what they did. Mel Walker repaid a favor, and it makes for good television. It makes for good wrestling. It makes for good entertainment. So this is all I'm looking at. That's all I'm looking at right now. Because the Deadly Alliance is trying to impose their will on everybody, and unfortunately, some people push back. That's what I'm looking at, and I'm loving it. I'm here for every minute of it.
Why didn't you push back at the judge when she was in there crying, saying that you didn't done nothing? Anyway,
why did you push back?
That's my last. Fuck you. All right, that's when we saw cameras fade quickly backstage, Postman, and this. You talk about diabolical. This was crazy as we saw Reggie Walker tossing around on the ground, holding his face with the blue mist, the dark mist in his eye. He was in agony and pain. Then the Dragon Queen's music hit on the Powertron sound system as she grinned while making her way to the ring. And about halfway down the ramp,
already got the drop.
Yeah, about halfway down the ramp, however, Postman, she was greeted with a devastating flying reckless forearm to the back of her head, taking her down hard as the fans pop for the reckless one, Reggie Walker, and she clearly didn't expect Reggie or the fans to make it to the ring for this one. But the fight now was not in the ring, T. It was on the outside on the ramp as Khaleesi then quickly raked the eyes of Reggie Walker, sending him down to a knee. She then lifted Reggie up for a backbreaker right on the ramp and then picked the reckless one up by his hair. The two then been going back and forth with one another, trading shots as they were going now, T. They were going the opposite direction of where the fuck they needed to be in the ring, and they started tussling towards Gorilla, going to the back, and it was clearly just an all-out fisticuffs fight. Reggie swung a haymaker and knocked spit from Dragon Queen's mouth at one point. The two grappled in Gorilla backstage with production crews trying to break it up. The teams tried to separate them, but that didn't work at all for one moment as Dragon Queen held on tight to the dreadlocks of Reggie as it seemed like she was not going to let go. Reggie then used his weight to force Khaleesi through the back door into the hallway towards the locker rooms. Reggie grabbed a glass mirror that was laying sideways on one of the production crates and cracked her in the head with it, but she stumbled forward and began punching away at Reggie Walker's face, who tried to cover up this attack. It was crazy, T. What a commotion it was until finally the two were separated. And Reggie later on, T, was treated for minor burns to his eye area and his nose, but he'll be fine. He'll be back in action, ready to go whenever PWR needs him. From some type of chemical, they're trying to test it and see what's in this mist. But also, we have to update that Dragon Queen had to get 3 stitches in her scalp. Ouch, from that glass must have cut her up a little bit. But T Money, you've been in some fights with women in general, generally speaking, that have led to you costing you a lot of money, a lot of pain, a lot of physical damage. So you can relate more than I can personally to being. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Nah, man. Me go on knock the pepper pots out of you. Gonna stop the pepper pots out of you. We say that now.
Oh shit! You got anything to say about
no, man. I mean, just from the onset of this, I mean, it started off ruthless. It started off lawless. And so, what did you expect to happen? So, yeah, I mean, 3 stitches. I think you got out lucky. Burns, minor burns. I mean, considering who it was, I think you got out lucky. Both of these people, as gruesome as it was, I think got out lucky because that could have ended very hard, very worse than it could have been. Very
quick question, T. Quick question. Is this one of those quote unquote where it's not a match, but one of those fights that builds that legend of both superstars, that builds that mystique of both of their stories, careers? We'll remember this one. I think the postman froze up. Is he back?
Yeah, it froze up a little bit, but it started off, but it was return in kind. So it was a statement on both hands. A statement. This is one of those statement fights. Sometimes it don't happen in the ring. Sometimes it has to just go down and you just throw hands. Show people what you're made of. And that was one of those times. And you know
All right.
I'm here for it.
You know what I'm here for? The main event. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's time. It's time for the main event of the night, the one you've been waiting on, the Empower Championship. My name is Scott Mack. He's Kadeem Hardison, and here we go. Ready?
That motherfucker is light skinned. At least pick another. You could have at least said Malik Yoba or some shit. Over there looking like you done went down on a snowman.
Woo! All right. Here we go, fans. Are you ready, T? Just say you're ready so I know I can go. If you don't say you're ready, I'm not going to go.
Is that how you approach all you women?
No, but you look like Jehovah, like you about to ask me for some money on a Sunday. So I want us to be in unison here. Please.
Did you know that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior and a survivor?
I do, but that don't mean he got to wear a vest like that and be the 5 heartbeats.
Did you know that you didn't have to pass out from drinking from going down on the bitch every time?
Whoa, Donna. Whoa, Donna. You look like. All right, ready?
Are you done? Are you?
Yes, here we go, fans. The top.
The main event?
All right, yeah, it's not only a main event, it's the top main event of sports entertainment all week long. Do you beg to argue that?
Yeah, the top main event in sports entertainment all week long was you trying to last against that thick chick that you tried to pull that you found out she had a penis.
At least I tried. I got courage. All right, according to Dave Meltzer, T, the tickets for this particular matchup sold out faster than any other main event attraction in any other company this year. I'm talking about the Queen Alexia Payne versus Dylan Mason. Who wouldn't want to see this live?
One by one. No wonder you broke, motherfucker.
Who wouldn't want to see this live, T? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and that shows what I think in my mind. This is just my opinion. I don't know. I could be stupid. I could be lame, whatever you call me. But I believe, based on the tickets selling out really fast and the amount of fans that were engaged in this show here to see the Queen versus Dylan Mason, I truly do believe that there is a pulse. And if people don't believe that, they're either dumb, deaf, or blind. And those are 3 things you don't want to be in life.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to be Helen Keller. No one says I want to grow up to be Helen Keller.
But I do like Braille. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Cameras in the back. We're showing a moment of prayer between husband and wife, Aaron King, and his wife, Alexia Payne, before she walked into what is arguably the biggest matchup of her professional career. The buzz in the building was real, fans. Do you agree with me, T? Could you feel it?
I agree that you feel it? Real because you like touching little titties. But anyway.
First, the challenger came out to a huge reception from the San Antonio faithful. They love the Queen here all week long. She was out on tour. She was meeting and greeting with fans. And Alexia Payne showed the fans why all week. She's a reason and a person to get behind. I can't stand her, but they love her. The Queen looked like what we call in this business, T. We call certain people when we see them in this business that they have the it factor. She's an absolute star.
Iconic. Icon factor. It was beyond, with hers beyond it. It's icon status.
Yeah, it's certain stars that just have it, and the Queen definitely has it. Head to toe, she came out in all white with not a piece of her attire out of place. It was perfect. As the cameras got a close-up view, you could see the nerves a bit showing on her facial expression until she took a deep breath on the ramp and she said something to herself. We're not sure what it was. Cameras couldn't quite pick it up, but whatever it was suddenly uplifted her confidence, and her facial expression changed like that. As the Queen locked in, she walked at a very good pace, very steady to the ring, as she looked at the sea of fans who all seemed to be behind her with PWR signs, saying her name, screaming the Queen's name with the Queen merch. She was an absolute gem here in PWR, and this entire building wanted to see her empower the universe again. As she waited in the ring, the building went silent, dead silent. And the temperature almost felt ringside like it changed from red hot and warm to chilly and cold. You needed a hoodie to be in there because the feeling of the room changed when the man known as Dylan Mason was about to come out. A pale blue spotlight flooded on the ramp, and no music at all, no frills, nothing fancy at all. Just the Empower Championship on the shoulder of Dylan Mason appeared, and fans booing was unreal. I haven't heard anything like it. The San Antonio fans were amazing, but they gave Mason what they felt he deserved, booing him out of the building. Would you argue that that was a crazy sign when you could hear it from the back too?
Oh man, we thought the boos we heard earlier tonight was something. That was something.
Yeah.
That was something.
Carry it on. Mason just stood there, however, very stoic with no music at all. He absorbed all of the hate from the PWR universe and the things the fans have been saying about him all week long on social media. But the boos just kept going and getting louder and louder as Mason stood there longer, and he almost started to enjoy it. He was
I
almost
was about to say
feeding
he
himself
smiled. Did you see the
from
smile?
the boos as
Smile.
he knew the attention that the fans were pouring into him, and the boos kept getting louder and louder, Postman, as Mason finally took himself a deep breath and seemed to transfer his mind as well as the Queen did, and he jumped up and down a few times while moving his neck around, getting things loose.
Gotta warm up.
Then he began walking towards the ring. And you talk about drama, you talk about must-see TV, you talk about sports entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. This was it. A true main event. Mason finally got into the ring, but before he did, he stood on the apron and turned his back to the Queen disrespectfully while holding up the Empower Championship as the crowd booed, and Mason had a smirk on his face. Pyro mist flew from each turnbuckle on the ring. What a sight to see it was, T. What is going through the Queen's mind when you see this very, very psychological entrance from Dylan Mason?
Honestly, we know that Queen is very well established and very sound in mind, but you can't help with a type of entrance like that. You can't help but wonder, what does this motherfucker have under his sleeve? What does he have in store? Especially with that. I mean, Pyro, that while you standing there, turns his back, it exudes confidence. It exudes all of that type of stuff that you want to allow your opponent to see that I am the man and you are going down. So you have to know that it played a part in her mind.
As the intros began, the Queen got the ovation and support from the fans for sure. As some young fans even yelled at the Queen, "Come on, Queen, you can do this." A young fan blurted out. Mason quickly replied, "No, she cannot," he said to the young fan. Mason getting in the head of the fans, getting in the head of the Queen early before this one even started. "She will not," repeated Mason. The referee held the championship, the Empower Championship, I should be more specific, up for all to see before he signaled for the bell, and we were off. But before anything else, we heard chants of "This is awesome."
Before the match,
this is awesome.
Before the match, the pageantry.
When we heard those chants, though, T, when we heard those chants, the Queen got the attention, and Mason said, "You hear that? You hear that?" said the Queen. "Does that sound like it's over here? Does that sound like it's over?" she said. She started trying to reverse psychology now a little bit on Mason. And he replied, "It's been over a long time now," said the destruction. "Listen, no, Mason. I'll prove that tonight," said the Queen, as the fans started getting louder and louder as the two paced around the ring for a few times. And then it looked like as they were going to lock up, but then instead, Mason, instead of locking up, he went right for the midsection of the Queen with a brutal strike. Mason playing hardball as he followed this up with another gut-wrenching blow, as Alexia was in massive trouble early on here in this matchup. He followed this up with a well-placed elbow drop down to the Queen's neck as she crawled on all fours. What did you think about the start of this one, T?
To say that he was well prepared is an understatement. Well prepared, period. That's all that is.
Listen, that's when we saw Mason kick her in the stomach. Staying on offense here as Payne rolled over now, grabbing her midsection. She seemed to be in a lot of pain here. Mason wasted no time as he balanced on the top turnbuckle like an eagle, peering off at his prey and skied off for a Veef. Yeah, if you know, you know. That's Dutch. A Veef star splash. That's Dutch, baby, for 5-star splash as he quickly pinned the Queen for the 1, the 2. But Alexia Payne kicked out as the fans started cheering her on, getting her going in this one. T, you're watching this one. What's going through your mind as a fan?
I saw the splash, and for the first time, even though I know he came out with, hell on fire, spit piss and vinegar. But that splash, and I saw the way Alexia took it, and I was like, it's not over. That is not good enough for her.
Yeah, but when we saw that near pinfall attempt, right away, T, I do have to point out, instead of looking around or wasting any time complaining, Mason just drove a quick hard boot right to the forehead of Alexia Payne. She rolled to the outside of the ring, touching her eye. It seemed like she was having some issue with her eye, maybe her contact or some kind of issue there. She kept touching her right eye, but Mason stalked her slowly to the outside, T. How are you going to empower a dying place, said Mason as he struck her with a hard blow. But the Queen quickly rose up and fired a left hook back that startled Mason. This seemed to wake the Queen up. She swung a right cross and then connected, but Mason quickly exploded for an array of strikes like a video game expert and then tossed the Queen back inside of the ring. He was breathing harder and harder, panting. Mason was showing all of the tools in his toolbox right now as he taunted her even more, getting in the ring. I told you, Queen, it's never been you. It's never been you that's the problem. It's Scott Mack and his evil ways that is making me kill everything. Don't you see it? It's not me, said Mason as he looked at his hands in disbelief. What did you think about this?
How did you feel?
I didn't give a fuck.
Because, I mean,
I wanted them to kill each other.
It seemed like he started moving. He started moving with like a slithering type of thing. He started moving like a snake. Even his words, like I don't know if you caught this, but notice like his words started having S's in it. Simply say that you can stay in the ring. It was all S's. It was almost like a snake, almost hissing at her. And
listen, this was a crazy part of this matchup, but you can clearly tell that Mason was in control right now as he quickly took advantage, as he was mocking and talking to Queen the whole time, trying to reason with her that it wasn't her fault. He locked her in the soulless redemption, and the fans stood on their feet, covering their faces, wondering what was next as Mason, boom, nailed the soulless redemption right in the middle of the ring, pinning Alexia for the 1, the 2. But the Queen got her shoulder up, Postman, as the crowd erupted as she got her shoulder off the mat just in the nick of time. And for the first time in this matchup, the facial expression, and this is important, T, the facial expression and the body language of Dylan Mason changed. What did you see in him right then when he knew this was going to be a long night?
The crowd remembered what happened the week prior with Queen versus Quan.
Yep.
The crowd remembered what happened nights ago, weeks ago, when Queen has overcome the odds. And now what you instilled in the fans is hope. There is hope. They don't want to see Dylan win this. They are clearly behind the Queen in this. And now we have to see Queen deliver. We have to see her stand
now.
Survival.
Let's see what happens. Let's do it. The Queen got to her feet, and this is what made the fans go crazy as she looked into the eyes of Mason, and she meant it as she said, "You hit like a bitch, Dylan. You really do." Mason turned red in the cheeks and cocked back the big right hand, but the Queen ducked it and lifted Mason with the divine spine buster as the entire arena erupted. The Queen bounced off the ropes and dropped a big knee to Mason's face as she rolled right back into her stance. Woo! What did you think about when the queen did the knee to the roll, right back to her
What did I
feet?
just say?
She was back on the bounce.
What did I just say?
Momentum switch. Here we
What
go.
did I just say? She has that capability. She's able to. She is able. And you can do all things when, you know, the queen is motivated.
Here we go. Mason was staggered at this point for the first time in this matchup, and the queen signaled for the off with your head. It was about to be historic. It was about to happen. The fans stood on their feet and started leaping in the air with the queen as she bounced off the rope, setting up, but Mason dropped down and then rolled to the outside of the ring as the fans gasped and booed Dylan Mason, who was regrouping by the announce table. A witty guy this Mason is, I'm telling you. But the queen was in the ring and started clapping her hands like this to the fans, getting the universe involved in this matchup. As she then bounced off the ropes and leaped through the middle ropes and crushed right into Mason, who went down hard. She looked at the Empower Championship and looked at it close and meant it and said, "You're coming home tonight." She threw Mason inside of the ring at this point. The fans stood again as she signaled for it. "Off with their head," she yelled, as she nailed it right in the middle of the ring, hooking Mason's leg for the 1, the 2, but Mason got his arm off of the mat, T. Mason got his arm off the mat just in time. Did you think it was over right there?
I did. I did think it was over right there.
Whew.
Momentum, adrenaline. Oh yeah. You put a little extra. You put a little extra. What's that called? Little extra thing on there, and he still got an arm up, a shoulder up. So
look,
yeah.
At this point, T, it was all drama because the look on the queen's face was one that I personally have never seen, as her eyes were just blinking constantly in disbelief, like she could not believe what was taking place, that she does not just become the Empower champion. She looked at the official, who nodded and guaranteed her that it was only 2. Mason was now on his belly, crawling, as the queen picked him up and executed a beautiful suplex. When I tell you magnificent, it was beautiful, textbook. She held on after the suplex and went for a second. However, the crafty Dylan Mason blocked with his leg and reversed into his own suplex, as both superstars were down in the middle of the ring now. And this is awesome chants erupted. This is awesome. This is awesome. What a match this was, as both superstars were laid out of commission in the middle of the ring, as they both started slowly staggering to their feet and began trading shots back and forth over and over with one another inside of the ring. It was all pride and heart between the Queen Alexia Payne and Dylan Mason, and neither of these top tier superstars were willing to give an edge until Dylan Mason leaped up in the air and abolished the queen with a Pele kick, one of his big time go-tos. He locked her. He locked her in the Blood Eagle. Looked at the fans in the middle of the ring. Boom! As he nailed it, pinning the queen for the 1, the 2. But the queen got her foot on the rope, T. The queen got her foot on the bottom rope, and the building was shaking. What were you thinking, T? Oh, my God.
I watched the Lakers and Pacers game last night, and this is worse.
This is when you saw Mason literally sprawling. All you see was red hair sprawling at the referee. There's no way that wasn't 3. Mason just knew that this matchup was his, and it was over. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. The entire PWR universe was speaking, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan Mason ran towards Queen and popped him up. Yes, Dylan Mason ran towards Queen, and Alexia Payne popped him up in the air for a powerbomb as she quickly hooked his legs for the 1, to 2, but Mason kicked out. Mason kicked out as well, as this matchup continue. The queen grabbed her face in disbelief. She couldn't believe that she was in the reality she was in. She laid her back in the ring, looking at the heavens, wondering what she had to do to put Dylan Mason down, but the fans kept urging, the fans kept screaming, they kept engaging Alexia Payne to get it going, to become the new Empower champion. The referee looked at both superstars. What a match this was, T-Money, at this fans. The fans were on their feet. Nobody in the building was sitting down, and this one will go down as one of the greatest Empower Championship matchups we have ever seen in history, T. But there's still meat in this pie. Mason was groggy at this point as the queen signaled once again for off with your head. She took off with a running start, but Mason shifted his footwork southpaw. Hear me again, ladies and gentlemen. He shifted his footwork southpaw and sidestepped. The queen leaped up for a Pele kick, which he nailed, buckling the queen as she fell right into his arms. The crowd went silent as Dylan Mason locked in another Blood Eagle, and boom, the impact hit the canvas as he pinned her for the 1, the 2, the 3, the winner, and still your Empower champion, Dylan fucking Mason. The fans were still dead silent, Postman. They couldn't believe it. Everybody's wings were clipped from them. This is when it gets really deep. It gets heavy. Bear with me, fans. PWR, stand up if you're out there. Mason dropped to his knees with the Empower Championship, and he just looked at it as the referee walked away. Mason then asked for a microphone, and everybody wanted to hear what Dylan Mason was about to say. And that's when he got on the microphone, and Mason moved the hair out of his face and he cleared his throat. You know, he had a little whatever. I don't know. I didn't know if this was going to be my last match in PWR when I walked down that aisle tonight. And that's because of that woman right there, the Queen Alexia Payne. Give it up. And the fans started cheering on Alexia Payne. But the electricity in this place, said Mason, tonight, right here in San Antonio, in the competition of this place, is why I came here in the beginning. The fans waited to hear what Mason would say next. Mason caught his breath as the queen seemed shocked at what was taking place in the ring. He got choked up a little bit at this point as Mason said, I don't have family, so I asked the queen to take my hand and help me rebuild this place brick by brick with each of these hands that we have to make this place what it used to be and even greater. Will you do that with me, Queen? The queen stood to her feet as she wiped the sweat from her forehead, and the fans were engaged in this moment. It was a pure drama, ladies and gentlemen. Mason opened his arms at this point, and the queen and the Empower champion embraced as one in the PWR ring. That's when pyro exploded and the fans cheered at the top of their lungs for the pair of dynamic superstars that go by the name of Alexia Payne and Dylan Mason. What a championship matchup, ladies and gentlemen. What a live show. We have a lot to digest. I'm Scotty Mack. He's the Postman. We'll see you at Lethal Lottery. Woo! They say we ain't got a post?
Shit.